Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah. NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? I hope you're right. You should be, because it is Friday. TGIF, am I right? That's right. June 14, all day. I'm your host, James Clements, here at NBA Straya. You can see my ugly mug on Fox Sports Lab NBA, the AFL Today Show, and the official Supercoach podcast. All the good stuff. Here in Larry Armour Studios, hanging out just for a quick Game 4 preview show today. Just going to break down some numbers that matter. Do some fun stuff, a couple of quick yeah-nahs, and then we'll get out of your hair. Does that sound good? I reckon it does. Just a nice little Friday sprinkle for you, because Dallas are on the brink of being booted. Boston are on the verge of making a bit of history, and it just feels a bit fun. And the game is tomorrow morning, Saturday morning. So we better do this now, eh? I reckon so. So I guess, without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1115 of NBA Straya. Oh, let's go!
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze, and you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
Watch out for the Shaq attack.
Wow, you better watch out for the he said, she said attack for the Lakers. The Lakers. Oh, that's right. They're still looking for a coach, which is pretty crazy because, I don't know, the Lakers stink! And they're still looking for a coach. Interesting gear. JJ Redick is officially meeting with the Lakers brass over the weekend, which is kind of fun. Sure. Cool. I very much enjoy that so much of this is sort of turned down into like Shams like, nah, they never even wanted Danny Hurley. And Woj is like, oh yeah, Danny Hurley was like the guy, and now backup options, JJ Redick, eh? They've spoken, and he understands their interest in Danny Hurley. You're like, all right, cool. All right. So that's about it. We've essentially just got like a bunch of sort of, finals news bits popping off. So we should just get into the Game 4 preview, shouldn't we? Game 4 preview. So, Game 4 with Dallas down 3-0, the Boston Celtics on the road. The little bits of news popping off about this for the daily whip around is that essentially the Mavs are saying we don't want to change any lineup action for Game 4. Because apparently, as I mentioned yesterday's show, Jason Kidd can't get his head out of his ass. What are you doing? He's like, oh, yeah, look, sure, Derek Lively played way better than Dan Gafford to the point where I sat Dan Gafford, but that's no reason to start Derek Lively now, is it? You're like, I don't know, probably. Oh, yeah, look, Tim Hardaway Jr., look, he's good. He's good. I'm going to keep playing. No. He's like, yeah, I probably should have played Exum a little bit more. So it's a weird one. Derek Jones Jr. is shooting 17% from three. Basically, we've got a lot of numbers that matter going into this Game 4. So at the moment, Derek Jones Jr. is shooting 17% from three. Josh Green played 22 minutes in Game 3 compared to Derek Jones Jr. 16. Maybe we see more Greeny looks, which would be kind of fun. Outside of Dante Exum, it was weird. Jason Kidd was like, 3 minutes. He played 11 players to Jason Kidd, and he seemingly didn't want to play his best one, Dante Exum. He played 11 minutes in Game 2 to Dante, and then for some reason Kidd went with Hardaway, and Kidd came out and said, oh, yeah, we probably could have got him out there a little bit more. You understand that you're the coach, Jason Kidd, right? Like, that's actually on you, you fucking moron. So, good job. Anyway, basically, with the Mavs saying we're not going to make any lineup changes, Jason Kidd basically deserves to lose this series at this point because, I don't know, when you're a head coach in the NBA and your go-to move is throw shit against the wall and hope that something sticks, I don't know if that's strategy insofar as it is just being a fucking idiot. And here we are. Anyway, other little bits of news. Zinger is still doubtful for Game 4. Don't think he's going to go. I don't know if the Celtics risk it. Putting him out there with a blown tire probably doesn't seem like the smartest thing when you're up 3-0. Because let's start there with the bigger numbers that matter. We hit on this one yesterday. The numbers that matter. Boston are up 3-0. That's important. Why is that important, Jim? I don't know, because teams up 3-0 in NBA playoff series are 151-0. For those in the cheap seats, that means no one has ever come back from 3-0 down. Right? Although, it's really hard. Teams in the finals are up 3-0, are obviously 12-0. But they are 7-5 in game fours. So, when you're up 3-0 in a finals, game 4 can get a little bit tricky. So, interesting one. They obviously always go on to win the series, but do they win game 4? 7-5. So, after we saw a really interesting third quarter adjustment from the Boston Celtics in countering like the way that Dallas were playing a bit of defense, right? Dan Gafford, Lively, they'd be sitting back as the lone big man, basically just dropped into coverage, right? Along the baseline, essentially meaning that Boston were having a much harder time attacking the paint. And Dallas basically just wouldn't send somebody up. They'd send someone smaller up if they were setting a screen with like Al Horford or whatever. Because they're like, whatever, what are you going to do? Al Horford's going to shoot over somebody, you deal with it. We'd rather not let Tatum and Brown get to the rim. Then the third quarter, they basically would just drag Gafford into a one-on-one with his, basically involve his player that he's like ostensibly guarding as a one-man zone in the paint. And they'd sort of drag him out a little bit and then attack, whether by swinging the ball around the perimeter and then going in as he's out of position and getting the Dallas defense into a bit of a tizzy. And it worked really, really well because they blew them the fuck away and basically won the title with that awesome third quarter, didn't they? So, interesting to see what happens there if there's another counter to the counter if Jason Kidd has run out of ideas. It was a nice adjustment that they had made, but then Boston figured it out. And I don't know, the biggest adjustment I think that Dallas could make is to get Luka Doncic to pull his fucking head out of his ass and stop bitching and moaning to the rest the entire time. Because, I don't know, fouling out of an NBA Finals game that's 3 points the difference with 4 minutes to go is egregiously fucking dumb. Almost as dumb as Jason Kidd calling that timeout after a 20-2 run. Now, as I said on Twitter on yesterday, look, I'm not saying that Jason Kidd's not a bad coach, and I'm also not saying he's an absolute moron. I'm not saying any of those. I'm certainly thinking them. But what you'll sort of see is the counter to the counter. What can they do? Can Luka just stop bitching and moaning at the rest for 5 seconds to actually play a little bit of defense? His size and his speed, it's amazing that he's doing what he's doing while also looking like me. You know? Like, what are we doing here? It's like, you're 25, Luka. You shouldn't look like an old-ass moron like me. Just out there going, oh, everything hurts. It's like me getting off the couch. Anyway, outside of that, the biggest difference in this series is that the Celtics are taking 48.8% of their shots from three. Dallas are at 29%. So, both teams aren't shooting great from the floor. They're actually below their regular season numbers. But over the series, if you just hit more threes than the other team, you're probably going to win that. That's simply maths, you see. So over the series, Boston's gone 43 of 127 from downtown. Boston, that's a 43 of 127. You're like, it's pretty good. Dallas is 22 of 78. That's 21 points per game for Boston. Do you know how hard that is to overcome when you're like, they're outscoring us from three by 21 per game. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, game 3 is an example of this perfectly, right? Both teams made 38 shots. Boston hit 37% of its threes. Dallas was 36. Both teams had the same number of turnovers and fast break points. Both teams basically had the same number of free throws. Dallas had like 2 more, right? And the Mavs were actually up in the rebounding battle. You're like, cool. Even. Oh, shit. Boston took 46 three-pointers. Dallas took 25. And the Celtics finished plus 24 on threes. Oh, geez. Do you reckon that's why they keep winning? Possibly. Yeah. They just shot more and hit more. Like, it wasn't even so much like, they're just so much more talented. They just took more threes and hit more of them because they hit the same basic percentage. Crazily enough, Dallas took 13% of its shots from the corner threes during the basically their postseason run. That's down to 4.9% in the finals, which is pretty crazy, right? That 13% that Dallas had in the playoffs, would have led the league, and the 4.9% would have been the worst in the playoffs. So the Celtics have basically made Dallas, going into this, the best corner three-point shooting team into the worst three-point corner shooting team in the NBA, which is crazy, and that's how you win a final series. So amazingly, Dallas has also only led for their entire postseason run for 49.7% of the time, which is pretty crazy as well. All these games have been super close for Dallas. We're going to see what happens. So Luka's averaging 29.7, 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Those 6 assists are a little bit down, obviously, in his regular season numbers. A, because no one's hitting corner threes, obviously, as I just mentioned, but also because he's not passing as much. And he also fouled out with 4 minutes to go in the fucking game 3, idiot. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum just became the second pair of teammates to have a 35-5-5. A 35-5 in the NBA Finals on the road, which is pretty funny. Jokic and Murray did that last year in Game 3. Pretty fun. But basically, what you're sort of seeing is a team that is out-mathing the other team just by sheer amount of, like, shot-making talent, right? They've just got better three-point shooters, and they're shooting more threes, and sometimes that's really hard to overcome, no matter how good your defense and stuff. And that's where we're at. So, where does that leave us for Game 4, Jim? Well, I'll tell you. If you're Dallas, probably up shit creek. Because I keep going back and forth on this game where you look at it and go, gentleman's sweep. You're up 3-0. Let Dallas get one at home and you can celebrate on your home floor. But the way that Boston have been playing, where they've been up by 21 in both Game 1 and 3, they're up by 14 in Game 2. The end sort of results have been a little bit closer. But don't get it wrong, the Celtics have shit pumped this Dallas Mavericks team. They really have. They've just kicked the crap out of them. Their defense is on point. It's taken like some special Luka moments to get this, like, to juice this Dallas offense to the point where they're staying in these games. You had Kyrie go for 35 in Game 3, but down the stretch because Luka fouled out, Kyrie's like, one-man band, let's do it. Misses that one-legged three. And then that was basically all she wrote. So where we're at for overall series numbers as well, for the numbers that matter. Luka Doncic is going to run away with the scoring leader thing. But if you're looking at betting other gear, the rebounding numbers are interesting. Doncic is on 27, Tatum's on 26, Lively's on 25, Giroux's 23, interesting, and PJ's on 23 as well. Tatum's not a bad, interestingly, look at winning that one, perhaps. One behind Luka at the moment. Luka just basically throwing up 10 per game, Tatum around the same sort of thing. Lively. We just mentioned the Mavs aren't going to change their lineup, but if he starts, just saying, not a bad look. But I kind of like Tatum, just to sort of bring home the bacon in Game 4. And for the assists, Tatum's ahead of Luka, which is crazy, 22-18, and Jaylen Brown 17. Tatum and Brown both lead Luka in potential assists per game as well at the moment. It's because none of Luka's teammates are actually hitting anybody's shots, are they? So I don't know if Tatum should be an underdog in that one. I'd probably go Tatum to take that one out. And for threes, I'm looking at Derek White because he's the favorite. He's crushing it. That was my pick before the series. Sticking with it. Interestingly, going to Game 4, if you like the Celtics to win this, I'd also be looking at betting the Celtics team total over. I think if they run away with it, they just kick the crap out of Dallas and leaves a really bad taste in their mouth. I can't imagine them playing another really close game if Dallas don't win it. Like, if Dallas do win it, they could win it in a close one, but I think if Boston win, they run away with the damn thing. Finals MVP picks. This is Jaylen Brown's to lose at this point. He is the favorite. I think for Tatum to win it now, the Celtics have to lose Game 4, but Tatum has to be really good. And then Tatum has to have a really good Game 5 and help them win, right? So he has the balance of the last 3 games essentially in his favor. At the moment, it's Jaylen Brown's to lose. I'll tell you what, though, if Jrue Holiday has a really good Game 4, like a really good Game 4, he hits 3 or 4 threes, has a couple of steals, has a big rebounding game, shoots the piss out of it like he did in the first couple, keeps playing his awesome defense. I think, look, Jrue Holiday is a really, really big number. Just saying. That's a bit of a smoky right there. But either way, look, my favorite stuff heading into Game 4, I love Derek White, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and a block. That's like my go-to for Derek White at the moment. I do think Tatum keeps on going and like the shooting improves a little bit. So I think over 28 points, over the 10 rebounds, and probably over the sort of 6 assist mark as well. I think he could have a really big game. I'd probably stick clear. Like, Jaylen Brown can sniff this. He's having an incredible offensive series. I think he's been extremely, extremely consistent over the course of the playoffs. On a game-to-game basis, though, it's like a little bit tougher to trust. And I think if the Mavs sort of throw everything at it, JB might be the one that suffers a little bit. Giroux, if you like him for finals MVP as well, I'd be looking at the MVP and also for him to have a really big game, and I'll be jumping all over that. For Luka, look, all the criticism that he copped in Game 3 after fouling out would not surprise me if he threw up a massive stinker. Because you might think, oh, he'll bounce back massively. It's like, yeah, but he could also go like 1 of 10 from downtown kind of vibes, right? And Luka, in the prior games, like he's had these moments where you're like, yeah, he's shooting okay, but then you look at the rest of his numbers, he's not getting anything in the paint. He shot 11 of 27 and 1 of 7 from downtown in Game 3. The rest of it, he hit like, 4 threes in each of the first 2 games. 4 of 9 and 4 of 12, but shot 12 of 21, 12 of 26. So he's shooting 47% for the series, averaging at 29, 9, and 6. I still think he can probably get to that 27, 6, and 6 mark that he had in Game 3. If you like the Mavs to win, you got to basically back him to have a really good game, as well as Kyrie to back up his 35-point effort with like at least another 25 tomorrow. So there's plenty of big numbers in there. I think Kyrie for another 3+ threes and 25+. If you like the Mavs, I'd be all over that. But as we've sort of talked about, right, this Celtics team has a chance to go 8-0 on the road in the NBA playoffs, a feat only matched by the 2000 Lakers, I think it was, which is pretty remarkable. They could finish the season 80-20, which is absolutely insane. And I keep going back and forth. I think my initial pick yesterday was probably Dallas. Like the actual number for tomorrow's game is like they're basically just favorites. And let's see if that's actually switched now a little bit. To win Game 4. They are actually now 1.5-point underdogs, are the Mavs. To the point where now they're underdogs, I kind of want to go them. But Boston have been so bloody good. I want to take the Mavs plus 1.5. Celtics win it by... Nah, the Celtics aren't going to win that. Well, I literally just said the Celtics would smash them. If you reckon they're going to win, they're going to run away with it. Let's go Celtics minus 1.5. I want this to keep going. But what we saw from Jason Kidd in Game 3 was absolutely horrible. And it feels like if any team was ever to make it and like have a crack at an 0-3 comeback, you feel like it'd be a team that has 2 nascent super duper stars in Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic and some role players that can crank up its defense and sort of just put a team back on its heels. And if there was ever a team that could blow an 0-3 lead, it would be someone like this Celtics team that just wants to drop the ball at any given moment in time. But the way that the Celtics have played through these first 3 games where they've just gone, hey, I can see what we're trying to do here. Let's just fucking do it. Kick the shit out of this team and get it all fucking done. So I think Boston get the sweep. It would be pretty remarkable after all the chatter, all the Luka, Kyrie nut tickling of, the greatest scoring backcourt of all time, as if fucking Klay Thompson and Steph Curry never existed. Taking the piss at that point. I'm wanting Dallas to win because I want to see some more basketball, but the way the Celtics have just gone, hey, that's cute in the first half of the Game 3. It's like, we gave up a 13-point lead. Check this out. Whapang came all the way back, flying back, kicked some ass, took some names, and put Boston basically, a 1-point deficit at the half into a 15-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Like, that's a championship quarter. That's a championship team. That's a team that just goes, we don't care. Dallas, for just all season, have been this sort of team, right? Where you can't really trust them. They'll turn into the Dallas Mavericks at the worst moment you can imagine. That happened in yesterday's third quarter. If it does click, they look amazing. When they're up and about, they're flying around on defense. If Luka's actually fucking trying and not just playing matador defense, and like even Jason Kidd was like, when you put into pick and rolls for like every possession, it's wearing you down, and sometimes you make mistakes. It's like, I don't know if Luka's making mistakes insofar as he's just not fucking trying. And like, it's a really sort of bad taste in the old mouth when you look at it and go, I know that you're shouldering a bunch of load on the other end, but that's what Kyrie's there for as well. So settle the fuck down, mate. Play a bit of defense. Stop your bitching and moaning at the refs because it's cost your team basically this series. There was at least 3 different possessions in Game 3 where he was too busy bitching and moaning at the refs to pay attention to his player, and he got beat, or he got beat for a rebound that ended up to a bucket. And that's the sort of thing that you just can't do if you're the best player on a team. Like, bitch and moan all you want, but don't let it affect what's actually happening on the fucking court, right? So Luka has been very disappointing, I think, up to this point. His effort, his will, everything. Whereas, like, I feel like the disappointments over the years for Brown and Tatum have just fueled them, and they've just got the eye of the tiger. Celtics -1.5 is the pick at the moment. That's the pick going into tomorrow. I'll probably put up a quick little video tomorrow as well. But for the moment, that's it. That's the quick preview show. How quick was that? Oh, I'll tell you what, it was really quick. It was bloody quick. There are some yeah-nahs there. But we might have to get to those tomorrow, I reckon, because... Oh, actually, there was just a good one. Let's quickly do that once it actually opens. Yeah, nah. What do we got? Dylan K. Does everyone really think Tim Hardaway Jr., PJ Washington, and Dwight Powell are going to win a ring? Just the thought, yeah, nah. Yeah, nah. Like, Tim Hardaway, Spud of the Year. Like, what are we doing? PJ Washington, also a Spud of the Year candidate. It's pretty crazy. Dill K says, I'm a Celtics, Carlton, and Cronulla Sharks fan. Am I in for a life of misery? Yeah, nah. Blues are going to win the flag this year. Celtics have already got it. Cronulla, I don't know about that one. And yeah, nah, bring Mark Jones in the commentary box to the NBA Finals. He's funny as fuck, and listening to Doris and JJ Redick ain't it. Come on, man, this is the Finals. Look, Breen's good. Mark Jones, interesting one. He's kind of fun, but I don't know. Tricky one. Matthew George, he's got a good one too. Yeah, nah, Tim Hardaway Jr. That's it. That's all I've got. Yeah, nah, Tim Hardaway Jr. Nah. And Brett Pierce, the legend. Yeah, nah, Adam Silver's going to pay someone in Dallas to Tonya Harding someone on the Boston squad to prevent a sweep. He won't have a final sweep while the future TV deals are sorted out. Yeah, nah. Yeah, watch out for it tomorrow. All right, there you go. That's it for NBA Straya. Check us a follow across all the socials and all the good stuff as per usual. And get around the AFL Today show. We cut that one yesterday. It was a very, very good one. We're taking the Celtics -1.5. Should be a fascinating game. I want Dallas to win, but I think the Celtics are just too good. Check us a rating review on your podcast app, on YouTube as well, on whatever you use on your Android phone. NBAstraya.com/shop. Get your merch. And big thanks always go to From Also for the intro and outro song, as well as, what is it? Goldmines, Fascinator, Ramshack Alarmy, Iowa Sex Shadow, Green, and Dozer for all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on Bandcamp, Triple J, Apple Music, Spotify. Remember, NBA Straya supports Australian bands, so should you. That's it for today. We'll be back on deck for a Saturday show tomorrow to wrap up Game 4. That's how hard we're working. We're doing Saturdays. All right, we'll catch you then, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look up yourselves, would ya? And later, hosen.
Cooking with Baynesy is filmed in front of a socially distanced live studio audience.
And now it's time for Cooking with Baynesy with your host, Aaron Bangers Baines. G'day, yeah. Oh, look at you all there. Oh, nice and separated. Oh, I love having a live audience back. This is bloody great, isn't it? Oh, there's Cheryl. Hello, Cheryl. Look at you. Oh, you happy to be here. Oh, that's bloody great. Anyway, yes, welcome back to Cooking with Baynesy. I'm your host, Aaron Bangers Baynesy. Just recuperating from fall and stuff and everything, but still out here chefing for you. And that's what we're here for in this here episode. I've been learning some new cooking techniques, and this one is an absolute bloody ripper. I'll tell you what, because today we are going to whip up one of my absolute favourites. It is an absolute delicacy no matter where you go in the world. You can have whenever. That iconic classic. It's good for brekkie, lunch, dinner, midnight snack. That's right. It's steak. That's right, bloody steak. That's right, I love me steaks. I'll tell you what. And you can follow along with my cooking method because it's easy as, mate. It definitely helps keep up this physique, if you know what I mean. Protein, baby! There you go. So, it is bloody simple, isn't it? All you gotta do is go down to your butcher. His name's probably Vasily. Ask him to go, look, Vasily, give me 2 bloody steaks. And you go, what type of steak? And he's like, doesn't matter. Just whatever tickles your fancy, Vasily. None of that Wagyu bullshit nonsense. Just give me 2 good-looking steaks. 2 good bloody steaks. Now, make sure you've got a barbie, some oil, and some salt and pepper. And that's it. Fire up your barbie. Get her nice and hot. There you go. Hey, there you go. Yeah, bit of oil. There. Then season your steaks ever so lightly with a bit of salt and pepper. Just a bit of a pinch. There you go. And then grab your steak. Bang it on. Now, don't fucking touch it. None of yous. Leave it alone. Don't fucking fiddle with it. Just sit back, grab a tin, and 3.5 minutes later, flip that fucker over. There you go. Oh, there you go. Hey! Now, leave it alone again. Don't fucking touch it. You heard me. You don't touch it. Simple as 3.5 more minutes, and look at that. There you bloody go. Look at this one. Oh, can't wait to get stuck. Oh, but you can't. You got to let it rest for 5 minutes. Let it sit there. Let it hang out. And that'll be perfectly medium if you want it. You can go rare if you want. You can go hardcore if you want. But either way, that, my friends, is Bob's your fucking uncle, isn't it? Look at it. It's an absolute ripper of a brekkie, lunch or dinner. Fucking good old steak. Ah, it's just bloody delicious. Oh, and look, I'm just going to get stuck with this one now. I will. That'll dead certain pressure shields. Don't you worry about that. Oh, if you know how to cook a steak, you're a long way ahead in life. That's all I know. And if you want to get fancy, have some veggies with it if you want. I love a bit of potato salad. Whip that up. I think we've done one before, so go check that out. It's fucking unreal. All right, how easy was that? Get stuck into it. Do it at home yourselves on your own barbie. You'll bloody love it. Learn how to cook a steak, and everybody will bloody respect you. All right, tune in to NBA Straya next time for a new recipe, and we'll see yous then on the next episode of Cooking with Baynesy.